Hello everybody and welcome to GC Planet. I'm Chaz and welcome to another daily race video here on the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the daily races as of the 26th of June 2023, and we have three great options once again. The first of which is race A, and no DR and SR update event, has a Viper GTS from 2013 on offer for us on sports hard tyres, 1x tyre wear, 1x fuel usage as well. There is a grid start with a false start check here, which is an important element to this race. 5 laps, 12 cars, and it is taking place at Sardinia Road Track C. An interesting layout of this circuit, obviously with a big hairpin at the end of it as well in this direction. So I think it's going to be quite a good race to keep an eye on that one. I'm certainly going to be entering that one at some point. However, not in this video. The second race on the list is Group 4 cars at Raceway Laguna Seca. WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. 16 cars, 6 laps with a rolling start, racing softs. I don't think there will be anything in terms of a pit stop needed here. I think, to be fair, you're just going to be managing the tyres over the course of the race, not anything to do with the fuel. And it looks like quite an easy one to manage that, but still, Group 4 cars are really good for racing. I've enjoyed every race that I've done in them so far, and I think it's going to be quite a laugh to go in that one. But as you all know, the longer races that we get out of these three are usually found in Race C, which of course this week is Watkins Glen on its long course, which uses the bus stop and then the boot section down here at the bottom of the track. And it's been the Watkins Glen round of the IMSA series this weekend, just gone. So obviously it's very fitting to have these cars available. You have to have a tyre change in this race, so you have to go from hards to softs, which is interesting. Normally it's either racing hards to mediums or mediums to softs, but not racing hards to softs, and especially with a 6-time tyre usage, it's going to be quite difficult to get that right, I think. So I'm going to be taking on this race this week with the wonderful Thrustmaster TGT2. A huge thank you to Thrustmaster for sending these wheels out to us. It's been great to get their support as well for the channel, and thank you very much to them for sponsoring the videos as well. We're very, very grateful, Thrustmaster. This TGT2 has been built from the ground up for expert races, whether you're on PS5, PS4. There's very linear feedback with it as well. It's really, really solid. And to be honest, for a belt-driven wheel, it provides a great amount of force, which you, looking through that camera, will realise over the course of this video. It certainly shakes the desk around a lot, and it's very useful whether you want to mount it to a desk or mount it to a sim racing rig as well. Mine isn't on my rig, unfortunately, because I've shared a bolt on said rig, so I can't get the current wheel off. We're going to go for qualifying and pick a car. We're going to go for an event specified car. We're going to rent one for this. We're not going to use the Genesis that I normally use from my garage, and I want to go into this completely blind with a car I've not driven before. So I think maybe we try and go for a modern day GT3 car that would be competing in IMSA. I like the stability of the Mercedes-AMG GT3 down here. But you know what? Because I love a Viper, and because it's available in Race A this week, obviously we're at an American circuit where an American series has had one of its rounds. We're going to go for the Viper SRT in its variation colour scheme. And look at the difference there. Wow. 64 kilos added, and how much horsepower taken off? Mid-speed track balance and performance is applied here, so it's BOP-M. As you will see, there's usually high, medium and low. And let's go around Watkins Glen, shall we? It's not a circuit I know too well, and it's a circuit I've never driven actually on Gran Turismo 7 yet, so this is going to be a learning curve for me. I've got to remember how to change that menu in the bottom right of my screen now. Ah yes, do that. Now, again, I'm going to mention pedals here because inputs on the throttle and brakes are going to be so important around Watkins Glen. Despite what the balance of performance tells you, it's quite a high-speed circuit, this place. So you have to be very smooth, and you have to have the capability to be smooth on the pedals as well. We're going to just about hit 160 miles an hour before the bus stop. I'm not quite sure where to brake for it. I've gone down way too many gears, and straight away, as you'd expect, overdone it at the bus stop. It's so easy to do that there because it's one of those corners that demands that you carry a lot of pace through it. It's a good opportunity to actually learn where the car is good and where it's bad in this scenario. There was a bit of feedback on the last video that I was sat a bit too close to my wheel, which is understandable, but with how high up this chair is, I can't get it to go any lower because I'm not in my sim racing rig, almost sat on the floor. I'm unable to move it any further. I got cocky there on the throttle, didn't I? I'm unable to move it any further down, I'm afraid, so I am going to look like I'm sat very close, but it's almost at arm's reach away. It's nice and comfortable though, and that's the thing, I like to race comfortably. I'm not all about sitting really far away from the wheel and stretching my arms out all the time. You'll see a lot of NASCAR drivers actually sit very close like this to the wheel because all the movement is then in their wrist, you know, they sort of drag the wheel around with their wrist. Turning left for that long over a long race like that is rather strenuous on your arms. Something that's easy to get caught out by with the Viper, and even the older Vipers as well, is the fact that they're very low revving machines, naturally aspirated 8.3 litre V10s in the old cars. So it sounds like there should be a lot more in the tank for a big V10 to go screaming, similar to the modern day V10s that you hear of in the Lamborghini Huracan and Audi R8s. It's a good looking car though, isn't it, the Viper? Don't really want to be on that curb all the way up there, do you? There we go, much safer through there that time. However, I can tell that in the race, there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to want to go through there a lot quicker and not be ready for certain people slowing down. You have to be ready to compromise for the cars ahead of you. This isn't going to be the most potent lap you've ever seen of Watkins Glen, but I'm just going to take it easy, get used to the circuit. You've always got to dial that speed in. I'd rather go too slowly than too quickly into every corner. Yes, again on the throttle out of there. It wants to kill me. The overcorrection put me on the grass. Oh, we've got a half a second penalty as well for ignoring track limits. I've just turned the game audio down a little bit because I realised in the previous video, again off a bit of feedback, so thank you, that it was very, very loud. I've also realised that my ring light has fallen over and moved due to the forces of the wheel on the desk, shaking everything around. Let me fix that. Seems to have to be very careful out of the toe section of the boot there. What traction controller are we running? We're on 1 at the moment. I'm going to pop that up to 2 just for my own sanity. Again, I've gone too quick into there. The car's got a little bit of slip about it now, but it's still okay. Again, I'm really impressed by the weight of this wheel, how much it pushes against you. So we're not going to be setting the world alight with these qualifying times, I know that much. 151.455, but that includes a slow down penalty, so let's see if we can get a better representation around the carousel. Try not to tuck it too far on the inside, or you might over-rotate. I realise I should probably put a lot more lock on than I am doing. I'm being very gentle at the moment, aren't I? But again, it comes back to my point that I made at Suzuka last week. There's an easy way to tell with this wheel that if you put a load of lock on, you'll be able to feel when extra lock won't do anything different. Like there, I can feel that now that's as much lock as I need. If I put more lock on, the car doesn't turn any better. All I'm doing is scrubbing the tyres more and destroying them more. I'm going to try third gear here just for a bit of stability and a longer, smoother run out of the corner, into the wall. Okay, I'm a bit happy with that lap. I know it's not the quickest lap I'll ever do around Watkins Glen, but it's a 147.352. We'll call it there for qualifying, and we'll get prepared for the race, shall we? I'm thinking the strategy is go on softs at the beginning, put 3 laps on the board, and then sit on hards for the rest of the race. It's a 10-lap race. I think, if I'm honest, it's just a safe bet to get the softs done early. A lot of people will try and go later on in the race for a pit stop and start on the hards, but I don't think that's the way. Okay, well, now we wait again. Okay, 30 seconds till go time now, and I'm not sure whether to leave my fan on or not. I've got a fan on down here. I'm getting very cold sitting here waiting, actually, but I know that when I get into the race, I won't have time to turn it on again, so I think I'm going to just leave it. 10 seconds to go. I'm excited. Really excited. I really enjoyed the last race that I did at Suzuka last week, and I've done a couple of races since then as well, and jumped into a few daily races with this fantastic wheel, of course. And, well, let's see where we qualified. Oh, it just disappeared as off the menu. My name went flying down that list very quickly there, didn't it? It went very quickly down that list. Let's have a look. Okay, 13th on the grid, so almost at the back. Just ahead of Tazio and behind Batu. We've got Remy at the front. Wasn't Remy in our race last week? Good mix of cars, though. There's an Alfa Romeo 4C in there as well. Nissan GTR, BMW M6. We're the only Viper in the grid, unsurprisingly. There's even a Beetle as well by Popper at the back of the pack. Oh, did I change my tyres? What tyres are we on? Well, that's determined our strategy for us. Again, I forgot to do it. I did this last time, didn't I? So it's either hards until 3 laps to the end, or softs until 3 laps from the beginning. Wish me luck. Okay, we're on softs. Thank the Lord. Softs to begin with. End of lap 3, into the pits, hards to the end, yeah? You with me on that? Don't expect too much from me. There's a reason I'm a commentator and a presenter and not a driver. My history of racing on iRacing has highlighted that many a time. Okay, so we're starting halfway around the corner, which is kind of harsh of the game. Going to make sure that we've got the traction up to 2. It's on 3 at the moment, so we don't want that. Let's get our radar on so we know who's around us and when. And let's have a good race, shall we? Nice and tidy into turn 1 for the first time, I was going to say. Leaves us with a little bit more work to do. I did see him coming down the inside, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and open it up a little bit, give him more room. But no, Tazio's a little all over the place here. Definitely on a controller, isn't he? Flicking that car around a lot. I'm not sure where he's going to be braking here, so I'm just going to take it easy. That's what you should always do, really, is just, if you're not sure, just take it easy and back out of it. Don't push and force the issue. Oh, lots of people pushing as hard as they dare around there then to go late. Got Batu right next to us in that fantastic sounding Toyota. Can't just disappear, son. Oh, you can hear his traction control kicking in. This Viper's a wide car. It seems people don't quite know that. But this was my thinking, you see. So because we're going to be having a few battles in the early stages of the race, I wanted to get on the softs where I've got a bit more pace in case I need the extra capability, and then get out of traffic as soon as possible. Go on to hards, run our own race from this point on. Oh, he sent it down the inside. Having to lift up there because we're sat right behind him in the slipstream. Oh, the gears are long in that thing. Don't know if I'm going to go for it. I'm not. I'm going to back out of that one. Let him have his own issue through there. Let's cut back on the right. Thank you. Stay tight to the inside, Chaz. We don't want to make contact with him. I'm not sure if we did there, actually. I think maybe there was a bit of a tap if he tried to squeeze me inside. BMW in front's had to brake early because of the Porsche. We'll hang back, get a good exit, go on the right-hand side of them. Back behind Tasio again in the bright pink Porsche. Braking nice and early. He's made a bit of a meal of that. Gonna give him loads of room. Car trying to come up the inside, so we need to get on the throttle early and get away from them. Got a good run actually to go down the inside of Tasio here. Oh, hey up, son. Well, we've gained the place up into 8th position. It's going quite well on the softs at the moment. There's no dive bombs down the inside of the turn 1 this time, so we can just get on with the job. Again, I know I've probably got my serious face on, but I'm really enjoying this race so far. Not even halfway through yet, we're only on lap 3, but this is going to be the lap where we come into the pits. Look at these guys having a go here, Vlad and AVR. Oh, they're making contact, and it's going to open up an opportunity for us, I think. Oh, he's parking it on the apex, isn't he? Doesn't want us to go through there at all. He knows the cutback exists. Defending hard down the inside, but he's just compromised himself for the exit here. I was on and off the throttle a lot there. Okay, so we're going to pit this time and take hards. Get ourselves out of any potential traffic. We've got a bit of clear air around us now. The car feels alright, but I'm going to go against myself there and we're going to dive into the pit lane. So hards, please. Don't refuel. It may drop us further down, but it means that we're used to the grip of the hards until the end. Gorgeous car, the Viper, as well. Look at it. Someone else has pitted on hards already. What? Come on. What? No. Wasn't that bad, was it? Oh well. We've got to take what we get. Remy still leads the way. GP second and Angel is in third. Oh, we've gone well too hot into there. Too bothered about commentating on the race. See, again, that's one of those situations there where just putting more lock on does nothing. There's no point in putting more lock on. I'm kind of glad that it's got us to serve it this early on, though, where we've not got cars around us. Oh, I've got on the throttle well early there. Anyone behind us? No. So this might not end up being the most entertaining to watch from this point forward if we're going to spend all of it on our own. But we'll try and catch people up. We'll try and pick off some fights towards the end. There's still a long way to go. Just getting used to the lack of grip now on the hards. I like this car. It may not be the fastest, but it feels stable and reliable. It feels planted and sturdy. It may be a bit lively on the power sometimes, but at the end of the day, they're still GT3 spec cars with a lot of horsepower. Over 500 horsepower in most cases. So easy to get on the throttle too early out of there, out of the toe. Leaders pitting on softs at the halfway point. A lot of people are pitting. There's also a driver pitting on hards at the halfway point. Maybe we went a little bit too early with the pit stop. I say we as if you guys have had some influence on the decision. It was my bad call. It's looking like a bad call at the moment, but I mean, this lap is that smooth that I'm actually 1.2 seconds up on my best. So see if we can overtake anybody before they come back out of the pits. There's a few drivers in there. Where were we when we pitted? 8th or 7th? Okay, we've just overtaken a couple that have just come out of the pits. So we are now in 7th place. I was just scrambling around on the wheel trying to find the little thumbstick to look back. It's not the time to be doing that when you're going up the S's. There it is. Yes, so there's Tazio behind us in the Porsche, and then Santra just ahead. So we're in 7th place still, despite the penalty that I got a lap or so ago. With how good this game looks and sounds and feels on this wheel, I'm falling even more in love with it. A lot of you know that before I got this role as part of GT Planet, I was, well, brand new to GT7. I've not played many of the recent Gran Turismo games, actually, in fact, at all. So it was still a very new experience to me to see how it felt, even on a controller, and to have a PS5, and very lucky to be sent this wheel, again by Thrustmaster, thank you very much. But all it's doing is igniting my love for this game even more and more. Race leaders back in on hard tyres. I think we're catching the cars ahead still. We're nowhere near fastest lap pace of the race though. 1:46.6 by Remy, that is really quick, isn't it? What are we in, the 48s or even 49s? Yeah, 49.2 is my best. Maybe I'm not quite maximising what I can do with the brake pedal yet. That's one key element of driving cars like this, is knowing exactly how to get your braking right. We've got visual on some cars ahead though, so I'm feeling maybe a top 5 if we keep this up. We're only on lap 7 out of 10. I mean, we're halfway through the stint on these tyres and they are not feeling shabby at all. The lefts are a little bit worn, but it's not so bad that it's going to affect the pace towards the end of the race, I don't think. Oh, wanted to step out slightly there. Traction control 2, I'd say, is the perfect setting for this because you get a bit of a slide. Let's just make sure we don't hit him. Yeah, as I was going to say, traction control 2 is really good because you get a little bit of slide. It allows you to still control a bit of a drift and get your foot down when you want and apply the throttle that you want without the car taking over too much and holding you back. But at the same time, it stops you having a colossal accident, or at least it gives you enough warning that you're about to if you carry on the way you're going. Okay, so end of lap 7. We're not too far off a top 5 finish here. Another personal best. We're getting quicker and quicker as this race goes on. Again, a little bit of oversteer on the exit, but it's okay, I can catch it. Hopefully I can catch the car in front as well. Don't think I'm pushing my luck enough through the bus stop there. Don't think I'm trying hard enough, but I'm just so scared of going in too hot. It's one of those corners that's really hard to come back from when you've overdone it. Still about a second ahead of Vlad, although, oh actually no, it wasn't even Vlad, it was Batu who we were battling earlier, and he's just had a penalty, so that's dropped him further away. There's a battle going on in front there, side by side, so that may help us. It's all falling into place, isn't it, right now? Whoa, maybe not. The car just reminded me there that it's not all hunky-dory. I've still got to drag this thing around and get it to the end of the race. Oh, wide of the mark there, Chaz. Don't hit the wall. That was close. Penultimate lap now. Up the S's, we're gradually getting a little bit closer to the 2 cars in front. It's quite an intense race, this. Watkins Glen is such a difficult circuit. Oh, one of them's got a penalty. And it is GP. So he's obviously pushing and hitting the track limits here. Or overdoing them. Ah, it's too easy to get excited by a mistake by one of the cars in front of you and overdo it. All of a sudden my tyres feel awful as well. Yeah, they've gone off the cliff now. 1 lap to go. We're going to have to shred these hards. Don't think we're going to get that top 5 unless something major happens in front, unfortunately. Yep, traction's going at the rear as well, and we've got a car close up behind. Batu is there. Come on, one last push through the bus stop. Not a great idea on dead tyres, Chaz. I'm praying that something happens in front and these two hold each other up. And they are doing. We can now see their name tags, but Batu's getting closer to us as well. Hopefully no major sends by anybody to spoil this, because this is a very tense finale to the race. Batu is right on me now, half a second behind. I'm actually on for my best lap of the race all of a sudden. And defend the inside, because Batu's going to definitely go for it, isn't he? There's a penalty for GP, so if we can stay close enough to him in the last couple of corners, we could get him. If we're within half a second across the line, Batu's right there with us. Oh, it's understeering. No, typical Viper understeer. Oh, we didn't gain a place in the end, I don't think. No, we're not going to get one on GP either. What a great race, though. That was loads of fun. GP did get a penalty, so we got a top 5. Get in. Oh, I love that. From the back of the grid to top 5. That'll do. Well, I hope you enjoyed another video here on Daily Races. Again, thank you very much to Thrustmaster for sending us the TGT2. Fantastic bit of kit. I'm really enjoying playing with it. And of course, I'm loving GT7 as well. And these daily races are getting better and better, I think I'll say. That's all from me though, Chaz Draycott. That's all from GT Planet today. Enjoy the rest of your week, everybody, and I'll see you again very soon.